killings had to continue. They hid in the darkness again, and as he buried his head in the chest of his lost love, feeling completely broken and numb, they took advantage of his vulnerability and gagged him before putting a sack over his head while dragging him off swiftly into the shadows. His worst fear was realized, but just like George, his dead body remained undiscovered.
They didn't just wander off, did they? No way. If you ask me, Sam is the one behind this.
I'm not a killer and I'll prove it to you. I'll go find Leo and George.
Wait, Sam! Steve didn't mean it! He's just scared and lashing out! Come back! You don't have to do this!
But it was too late. Sam ran off into the shadows, and as she faded from their line of vision, she faded from this life as well. The traitor gathered the corpses of Sam, Leo, and George, and put them in plain sight. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, there was proof that only 5 friends remained. As they awoke, they screamed in unison at the sight of 3 new dead bodies, and the traitor masterfully joined in.
Something's hunting us, and we're sitting ducks here. We can't see shit in the darkness, so we'd be even worse off out there. Something's taking us out like it's a game, and there's nothing we can do about it.
At that exact moment, from an unknown force, Mizu was pulled away screaming into the darkness.
Mizu!
Then shortly after, the same happened to Steve.
Steve, no!
Liz started hyperventilating again, and for a brief moment, nothing happened. Until suddenly, without warning, a large halberd shot out from the darkness, piercing through Carrie's heart, and killing her on impact. Whatever was holding the spear then yanked her corpse away from the light, leaving the 2 remaining friends screaming the loudest either of them had ever screamed in their lives. Carrie's worst fear was realized as she met her demise. 4 friends remained. 2 were missing.
What are you doing? Hey, what are you? Ow! Everything is peaceful until you're... Ow!
George. My God.
Klaus and Liz stopped screaming and huddled close together, crying softly in each other's arms. There was a bit of an eerie quiet for a short while, and they were able to control hands. They tried to hold on to each other, and he frantically screamed for his life as he fought to stay. But it was no use. He was dragged away screaming into the darkness to rejoin the ranks of his missing friends. 4 friends remained, but 3 were missing. Liz sat on the illuminated ground, hugging her knees and crying into them. She was all alone. All was mostly quiet, but far from peaceful. She was terrified, too afraid to move and too afraid to stand up or even to open her eyes, as she sobbed while feebly trying to comfort herself. All was mostly still, except for her muffled sobbing, the soft cracking of the fire burning behind her, and her own heartbeat, until a gurgling noise pierced through the silence. It wasn't just gurgling, it was gurgling, profuse choking, and what sounded like water forcefully hitting the ground somewhere in the darkness. The choking was becoming more severe. The gurgling was mixed with choked screams, and the water was falling even harder, until it stopped. The gurgling was gone. The choking had ceased. The muffled screams were no more, and for a while longer, all was despicably quiet, for the most part. The fire crackled softly, and her breathing slowed again, but all was far from peaceful. Then there was another soft thud that broke the silence, as the newly drowned corpse of Klaus was added to the pile. Liz let out a startled scream, but it was a much quicker one this time, as she then broke into tears of grief and hopelessness. She sat all alone in the open, crying to herself profusely, and hyperventilating yet again. Klaus's worst fear had been realized as he drowned on the dark, unforgiving floor. 3 friends remained, but 2 were missing. Really struggling to calm down this time, Liz passed out due to stress. Meanwhile, Steve was left all alone in the dark. His legs were free, but he was blindfolded, and his hands were tied behind his back. He was left to roam helplessly and far away from the scene of the burning cross, when no one could hear him scream. The darkness was draining his life essence, and his screams became more and more feeble, until he couldn't scream at all. His worst fear had come true, and he died stranded in this otherworldly abyss. 2 friends remained. 1 was missing. Group 2 was gone, and the cultists were pleased as Mizu Hanamichi informed them that the deed was almost done.